Rome used to be a big deal, an empire, the best at everything. And people who followed Jesus were unknown, underdogs, underestimated. Times have changed and Rome doesn't rule the world anymore, but people who love and follow Jesus are all over. Want to find out why? This week's big idea is anything other than Jesus will let you down. To find out more, let's go to the Roman Forum.
Hello, I'm Dr. Archie Logical, and you are just in time to learn about the Roman Forum. The Roman Forum, a glimpse into the ancient world and an archaeological marvel of the modern world. In fact, let's not just talk about it, let's go there right now. Oops, that's me and my breakfast. It's colorful, so it's healthy. There we go. The Roman Forum was this wide open area and one of the centers of daily Roman life. It was surrounded by banks, temples, and businesses, and adult Roman citizens would go there to do their buying, banking, and bartering. If you've ever been to the busiest part of a really big city, it was a lot like that. Except instead of cars, there would have been horses and chariots. And there wasn't any electricity yet. And the signs were not in English. And they were probably wearing togas, so it was probably a little different. But it was a lot the same, too. There would have been a lot of people there, and anytime there's a lot of people, there's a lot of talking. In fact, every adult male Roman citizen was allowed to give a speech in the forum. It was called orating. Now, the job of an orator was to persuade the people around them. So you can imagine people would stop, listen to an orator for a little bit, and then go on shopping and doing the other things they needed to do that day. So it was probably really busy and probably really loud. So that's what you need to imagine here, is a lot of shopping and people giving speeches and busy, 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 all right? Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to chow, get it? Chow down on one of my favorite Italian staples, pizza, with my favorite toppings, pepperoni, purple cabbage, peanut butter, and a piping hot pickled pepper. Mmm. Chow. I need water. I need water.
2,000 years ago, Rome was the most important city in the world. In fact, if the world had a capital, it would have been Rome. They had the biggest army, they had the most money, the most power, the most influence. Rome was the place to be. And people back then would have thought that Rome wasn't going anywhere. So maybe they put their hopes and their expectations in Rome. But if you look around, everything they had put their hope in, the people, the buildings, the empire they were creating, it's now in ruin. Rome let them down. Now here is a different story. After Jesus died, his followers started as a very small group, but they kept growing and growing, and they went all over the world, to places like this. They actually came here to Rome. It looked different, but they were here in this place. And when Rome started to decline, when that empire started to crumble, they started going other places too, and telling people about Jesus and how he's always good, always powerful, always strong. He never changes. See, buildings like this, anything that's made by man can crumble, can be ruined. But that's not the way it is with Jesus. In fact, he's never ruined. He never crumbles. He's always strong, always good, always powerful, and never, ever changes. So let me ask you something. Is there something that you're trusting in that's not God? Because here's the thing, if you're putting your trust in something other than God, it will not last. I guarantee it. On the other hand, maybe you did put your trust in something and it let you down. Maybe you were hurt or disappointed or even mad. Well, the good news that I have for you is that God is a restorer and a rebuilder of things. Look around at all these buildings that are in ruin and rubble. God sees things that are broken and he fixes them. He sees things that have been destroyed and he rebuilds them. Things aren't permanent, but God is. God is always strong, always powerful, always good. And anything other than Jesus will let you down. drive one of those things. How can I drive that? I want to drive one of the little trucks. We love that truck. Is there a chance that we could borrow or rent the truck for 20 or 30 minutes? Is that possible?
Not possible.
For euros?
Uh-oh.
¡Qué máquina! Ok, un momento.
Currently in the back of a mini truck that May is learning how to drive. Not kidding, this is a mini truck. This is a truck that's like the size of a scooter. Here's Vanilla.
Level.
Perfecto. We might need our friend.
One, yes.
Sí. Ah! Oh! Ah!
We're currently in a mini truck race in Rome. May is driving this truck. This guy's racing us. I'm just having a good time. So I just want to give you perspective.
Okay.
This truck right here, this mini truck, you're taller than this truck.
That's true.
Like you're
Not much.
taller than the truck, and we rode around in it, and it was awesome. It was like a really bad truck ride and a really fun like carnival ride.
It's our friend.
Italy.
Italy,
Very, very
Roma,
good. Roma.
Roma. What are you thinking about?
I keep thinking about how this isn't just a museum or some cool exhibit. This is real. This was a real city. There were real people who lived here. And it's a really good reminder for me that Paul was a real guy and he was talking about a real guy. He was talking about Jesus, who was very, very real.
That's exactly it. You know, we're not talking fairy tales here. You know, a lot of times in our culture, there are things that are like built to look real but aren't real. This is real. Like this is a real place where people really lived, and like history really happened here. And when we look at the things that happened in the Bible or the faith that we believe, it's a real thing. I want to build my life on that kind of stuff, on things that last, as opposed to things that will crumble and that will be in ruins.
This week we learned about power and a few other things. So now, this week's big step is to put your hope in Jesus. Give it a try and see how it goes, and come back for more Kids Club on location.
Stand by. Mark it. Mark it. You want to mark it for me? Mark it. Can you clap me, Paco?
Marking it again, yeah. Mark it.
Oh!
Yeah, yeah, yeah.